Hello YouTube, it's Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Time again for another knife of the day. Actually today, we're going to talk about the new Spyderco Manix 2 with the exclusive CPM SPY27 steel that only Spyderco owns and has access to. And then we'll show you and talk about the other SPY27 steel knives that Spyderco has released this year. So what you're looking at is the brand new Spyderco Manix 2. Again, it has the Crucible SPY27 steel, and it has what Spyderco calls mineral blue FRCP scales. You know, I've been collecting Spydercos for 3 to 4 years, probably about 4 years now. And I've bought a lot of and own a lot of vintage ones, etc. And I have always called this FRN scales. And someone who was watching said, hey, commented on one of my Manix and said, you know, on the Manix, it's not FRN, it's FRCP. And I went back and on every listing, on every sheet of paper, online, Blade HQ, everything says FRCP. I just assumed it was FRN because it feels that way. So this is FRCP steel. It basically feels like FRN scales for me. I actually, before coming on, tried to Google it and get a better explanation of the differences. And I'll be honest with you, except for a couple of people saying it's a little bit more, it's less hard use than FRN scales. I didn't get a real good explanation. But look, like I say with FRN scales, it feels like space age plastic, and so does this. But it is lightweight. So this is a Manix 2 lightweight. The big deal is this is a newer color than I'm used to. This is the color that the other two SPY27 steel knives were this year. So when I opened it up, I was like, is this a mistake? But it isn't. So this is a different color. So a little bit about SPY27. What Spyderco says, and I'm going off the sheet that came with this knife, okay? What Spyderco says is they really set out, because when you literally ask someone from Spyderco about it, they kind of dance around it. I'm not so sure why. I think it's probably hard to explain unless you really get into the chemistry of it. They say that they were looking for a stainless steel like their VG10 steel, not with the same properties, but the fact that VG10 has been around for so long with their Japanese knives and very steady. So they wanted a new age kind of steel from Crucible for an American steel that they can use. And so they wanted it to be super stainless steel, help with rust resistance, make it strong, and all those other properties. And they really used a lot of cobalt with it. That I guess has a lot of, look, I'm not a big steel guy. I'm definitely not a big chemistry guy. But they put cobalt in it. If you want to know more about this, I would just say Google it. But it's kind of like a good, they're looking for their version of S35VN steel. Just a steady, excellent, good everything kind of rounded out knife. SPY is for Spyderco because it is an exclusive steel. 27 is the atomic number for cobalt. So there's a lot of cobalt in this. Other than that, it's a lightweight Manix 2. And when I go through all the knives that I bought in 2020, you're going to see a lot of Manixes and a lot of lightweight Manix 2s. this year. So that's it. Of course, Manix 2, we're used to the Manix 2. It's a great everyday knife. 3.4 inches, full flat ground knife. This is one of the Spyderco US knives that are one of the standards. You get that Spyderco leaf shape, full flat ground blade. The forward choil, the 50-50 choil, 50% of the steel, 50% of the FRCP scales. So 3 inches is the cutting edge. 3.4, the total blade, measured from the top of the scales to the tip of the blade. And then if you take out the forward choil, but man, it's nice and thin. It's super light at just 3 ounces for a bigger blade. The total length, 8 inches. So now you have nice color, lightweight. And the Manix 2 has one of the stronger locks. It's the Spyderco ball bearing lock right here. Very smooth. Remember, this is right out of the box. Less than 24 hours ago, about 18 hours ago, and look at it, it just falls with no help. And it's a strong lock as well. We talked about the scales, of course. This is one of the Spyderco knives with a huge lanyard hole. So if you're a lanyard hole fan, the Para 3, the Paramilitary 2, and the Manix 2 of the standard Spyderco knives have huge lanyard holes. I love that they have the wire clip on this knife as well. Lightweight. It is a right hand, left hand tip up only because of that ball bearing lock. Tip up only. But just a real nice knife. Now, Spyderco announced last year, at the end of last year, when they released their catalog for 2020, that they were going to do a couple of things. They were rushing to do a couple of knives with Crucible's S45VN steel. The steel that is taking over from S35VN. And they were working on their own steel. And these are the 3 knives that they've done so far. The first one was the Para 3. And then with the native, again, these are the American knives. I'm expecting a Paramilitary 2 probably in 2021. We'll start, it would be great. I'm still waiting to see a lightweight Shaman. That would be great. I'd love to see SPY27 as a Shaman. Also as a little native. You know, the native chiefs, we've been promised 2 of them. A sprint run with carbon fiber. And I'm waiting for my Rex 45. All the Rex 45 knives that were released this year with the orange scales, the only one that hasn't been released is the native chief. So I don't know if that's a production thing or what, but the native chiefs are missing. But I'd love to see a lot of knives in SPY27. But that's it. That's what we're talking about on today's video. It is the brand new Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight with this wonderful mineral blue FRCP scales. Spyderco's exclusive CPM SPY27. A lot of cobalt. Again, I think they're trying to get a steel that, just like with all their Japanese knives, their standard steel is VG10. Maybe we'll start seeing a whole lot of SPY27 knives come out with their own exclusive steel. as they keep playing with that steel and getting it into the field. So this is another small collection, one that you could probably start right now. None of these are sprint runs. Usually when you get new steel, it's from sprint runs from Spyderco. But these are production runs. So I tell people who want to start in collecting, if you're going to start with Spyderco, there are so many knives, literally thousands of knives and variations. But look at some of these mini collections like the Rex 45 collection or whatever. But this is one that's just starting. All American knives, SPY27, only a Spyderco steel blade. That's it. I'm working on a series of Instagram posts like I did last year, a series of videos as well, as I go through all of the knives that I bought in 2020. Lockdown Kevin buying knives is unbelievable. Ugh, I have a lot of knives. Just to see them, I'm just looking at the listings now. When I put them on my table and start going through them, it gets me a little hyperventilating. But I'm so happy to have the knives. So we'll talk about all the Spydercos, the Chris Reeve knives, the Hinderers. My goodness gracious. They'll all be coming soon. I appreciate all of you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. And if you're kind of like me, where the holidays are a bit of a grind, I hope you're getting through it at least. I appreciate you guys. Take good care of yourselves. I know mostly men watching this, all men watching this. Hey, take good care of yourself, okay? That's the way you can take care of your families, your loved ones, your kids, etc. I appreciate all of you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on notifications so you know when the videos are coming. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.